What a privilege to have you tonight. I hope you had a great Easter. And I got a house full tonight. Can I just have them look over? I hope you've got a house full tonight, and I hope if you don't have a house full tonight, you'll get a vision to have a house full, and that will be awesome. I hope you had a great Easter. This is a big week for us. We had an incredible time on Easter. A lot of you tuned in online. It was so powerful. And then we have a conference called Elevate that's coming up this weekend that I'm really jacked about. I know you're very busy. I know you're running 1,000,000 miles an hour. I want to plant something in your heart. I would ask that you take notes. If you want to have a noteworthy life, you have to take notes. You can't remember all the things you need to remember. Some of these things right now will matter, but they'll really matter more in about 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, and so we'll lock and load on that. What an honor. I always want to give thanks and honor to my beautiful wife. Her name is Gay. We'll be married 31 years in about a week, and I'm fired up about that. Guys, it's so great to see your faces from all over the world. You mean the world to me, and I thank you for taking your time. I want to speak to you tonight about passion. Passion is so important. It is the first ingredient in almost every great achievement. You know when you're around it, you can feel it. You know when it's missing, you can feel it.
Wow.
Most people live lives and lead lives of quiet desperation because they don't have anything in their life that they're passionate about. A lot of people have lost their passion. And so tonight, I want to speak to you on that. Behind all great art, you're going to find passion. Behind all great architecture, you're going to find passion. Behind all great surgeries, you're going to find a doctor that has great passion. Behind all great music and singing, you're going to hear passion. Behind all great speaking and preaching, you're going to find passion. And every great marriage and every great relationship, you're going to find passion. And where passion is not, you're going to find a void. You'll feel empty. You won't have any enthusiasm in your heart at all. I have a book that I wrote a few years ago called The Power of Enthusiasm, boom. And it's just the scientific fact of what enthusiasm does for your life. And everybody can be enthusiastic. You just got to find something in your life that lights that fire, that makes you hungry, that drives you. It can be finances. It can be a business idea. It can be a great service to the world. Can I tell you? I think you can tell the difference when somebody cooks food with passion. Can I get a hey? Yeah, hey. Yeah, you've had food that didn't have much passion in it. And thank God my wife has never cooked one of those meals. And so I'm fired up about that, right? And in your life, though, you're going to find out passion. A lot of people think passion and lust are the same thing. Lust will destroy you. Passion will build you and inspire you and cause you to go to a whole nother level. I would never ask you to be somebody that was full of lust. I want you to be full of passion, men. And we got some women on the call tonight, and we're glad you're here. Welcome. Sneak in. Woo. We're fired up you're here. And as you move forwards, you're going to find out how much more you need passion. Now, I've got some of you on the call tonight, and right now you're full of passion. But some of you, the passion has left. It's left your relationships. It's left your work. It's left your ability to dream and have visions. Once what you were passionate about, something in your life caused you to lose that passion. And so tonight, I want to very quickly give you about an hour and a half's worth of information in 30 minutes. So I'm ready to pound away on this. Passion is one of the most incredible and amazing things in this world. It turns the impossible into the possible. It turns the little mind into a great big mind. It takes a really small person and turns them into a very big person. By the way, can I tell you something? Don't ever put a little person in charge of a big idea. People will always shrink what is to be to the level of their understanding and controlling. So in your life, you want to make sure that you are getting the right people around you. I'm not going to take much more time to set this. I actually have a CD and a download out called 7 Passion Killers, and I want to give it to you tonight. 7 passion killers. Things that will assassinate passion in your life. Number 1 is a life that's out of balance. Now I want to tell you, balance, I don't believe is a real thing. And I think most of us right now on this call, man, if you were honest, you would tell me, I'm probably not in balance, but I'm out of balance to get back in balance. And I think it's so important, in order for you to have your passion, you've got to realize that just because your life may feel a little bit out of control, you may be in a rare spot in your life. If you will just keep focused on the vision and the dream and the calling and the purpose and the ideal that you want to build, this passion is going to come back to you. But anytime a life is in a runaway, out of control situation, you'll start to lose your passion. You'll start letting exhaustion take over your anticipation. You will allow your expectation of good things happening to you to be dwindled down to what's the next bad thing that could happen to me. So when your priorities are out of order, you're going to find your passion leaves. Now I want you to take some time tonight, and I want you to think about your life right now. Where is it right now that in your life, maybe you're just not keeping any margins? You know, so many times as leaders, and I've got a lot of leaders on this call, leaders in ministry, leaders in business, leaders in government, leaders in every field of life. Can I tell you, it's so easy in life, if you're not careful, to get your life in the place where that you just are so busy feeding others that you do not feed yourself. You got to be careful that all your reading and all your listening and all your association is not just so you can gain wisdom to give it away, but you need to keep wisdom that feeds you so you can feed others. Yeah. And when you get on empty, you will feel you'll feel a loss of passion. It will just blow your mind. So we all need balance in our lives, and every one of us needs some place where you can renew and restore and regain perspective in your life. My whole life, I've really worked hard on this, and I'm grateful that I've had great leaders around me, because a lot of times in life, you can sacrifice what's most important for what's the most urgent. And I want to make sure that you don't do that in your life. That today, men, we are right now understanding that I need to put balance in my life. And I just want to tell you, in my life, and I'm sure in yours, it seems like in any area that I'm really doing well, every other area of my life suffers. I go through a lot of pastor guilt, because it's no matter what I do, I can't do enough. I can't see enough. I can't speak to enough. I can't care enough. And it seems like if I'm doing really great at work, it seems like my relationship with my children can suffer. And if I'm doing really great with my children, it's like my work can suffer. And it's like, okay, I'm doing really great with my children. I'm doing really great at work. But then my spouse, it feels out of balance. I'm speaking to somebody right now. Do not be too hard on yourself at these moments. Just keep working, stay focused, keep your priorities in order, and I promise you're going to get it back in focus and back in balance, and you will find passion. The second thing is an unused gift, talent, or ability. Oh, I wish I could park here for an hour, because some of you right now, you don't truly know your shape. You don't know your spiritual gift. You don't know your heart. You don't know your uniqueness as a person. You do not know your real gift. And because of that, you don't know your calling. And it's really possible in your life to be in the wrong place trying to do the right thing. So in your life, make sure that who you are also matches the message and the mission that you are on. An unused gift. I'm going to quote a scripture, so get ready, all right? 1 Corinthians 7:17 says, each one should live his life with the gifts that the Lord has given him or her. Guys, this is not only important for you, But how many of you really know your wife's main gift? How many of you know your children's main gift? Not only should you be pursuing your gift, but you should be helping them pursue their gift. What is the gift inside of them? Now, I got to tell you, I built an organization with 500 employees, 5,000 volunteers, 180 nations. It was crazy what God allowed us to do out of my second gift. My second gift is exhortation. But my first gift is equipping. And so my whole life, I would stand in coliseums with thousands and thousands of people, and I would walk off stage, and I would grab my little wife's hand, and I would look at her, and as we would walk out the tunnel, and with the crowd screaming, I would look at her and say, I feel empty. Do you feel empty? It doesn't mean that you're not doing what you need to do. It means there may be something more, that right now what you're doing is going to get you in the position where you can do what you were really called to do. Yeah. That's one of the passions of my heart. I love helping people know they matter and know they can make a difference. Know they matter and know they can make a difference. So God wired every one of you, men, for a mission. And here's the challenge, man. Can I be tough just for a second? Most of us are on intermission. We're chasing something else instead of what we should be chasing. Everything in your life that you do right now should be focused. Everything you do should be focused on your bigger mission in your life. What is that? Every step to success, everything that you reach should be because you can invest it deeper in the needs of other people's lives. The greatest graveyard in all the world is the graveyard where all the dreams and unused gifts, talents, and abilities have gone to lay. Some of you right now, you have gifts and talents. You don't feel worthy, so you don't step up. There's some of you, honestly, you've got gifts and you've got a really bad self-esteem. You don't feel like I can't do it. So you got to be careful of these things that will steal your dream from you. There are people listening to me right now that you have massive dreams and massive visions inside of you, but you play small and you think small and you get mentored small. And I want to encourage you right now, step out. It's going to be scary, but do not be afraid. So some of us right now in our lives, we're not in our sweet spot. Know what your sweet spot. John Wooten, who coached basketball, college ball, would watch players and the spot on the floor where they made the greatest amount of percentage of shots, they would swish the basket. He would later go out and put tape on the floor and say, only shoot from that spot. Before long, they built that into a habit in their life, and everything went through the roof. Right now, I just encourage you to take time in your life to say, what is my untapped resource? And what is the untapped resource in the people that are closest to me? I love when people get close enough to me that I can watch them, that I can see what's in them. And most of the time, when I first tell them, they want to fight me. They want to go, no, that's not right. But it's amazing as you just keep giving them a spot. All of a sudden, it changes everything. I can tell you, I have integrity in this in my own life, because not only have I done it for people all over the globe, I've watched in my own family. And I want to say this. This is really important what I'm going to say right now, man. A lot of us believe that if we lead our families, it means I'm just going to be a dictator and tell everybody what to do, and they should listen to me. If you want to lead your home, if you want to lead those around you, lead yourself.
Come on.
Don't try to change anybody else, and don't slow down for anybody else. Come on. You keep growing.
Yeah.
You keep stretching. You keep changing, and watch what happens. I heard a speaker say today that you don't have to worry about change because change will happen on its own. Can I tell you? That's true. But we don't want change to just happen around us. We want to create positive change. And when I create change, it creates different results. Oh, come on. That's good right there. Okay? And some of you right now could cut this call off and go, okay, I can change what I'm doing. Most people are waiting for the world to change, people to change, circumstances to change. Let me tell you what I found out. Oh, now I'm getting fired up. Let me tell you what I found out about great leaders. They don't wait for their circumstances to change. They create the circumstances where change happens in their lives. Oh, yeah, PT's thrown down right now, but it'll be all right. So, the third thing is when we stop growing spiritually. When your soul shrinks, wow, it'll take you out. In your life right now, you got to look in your life and say, watch this, men, do I have a dried up spirit? Now, I got to tell you, this is tough because the world will beat it out of you. Now, I've got friends on this call today right now that no matter what they go through, no matter what they're dealing with, they're on fire. They just have passion. Passion, they have excitement. Do you know why they have excitement? They're growing. It's not because things are perfect. It's because they're in an environment that is stretching them, motivating them, inspiring them, and even correcting them. I found out over the last 2 or 3 weeks that I always thought that followers only wanted to be led. But I have found out that leaders want to be led. Leaders are the ones that are always coming and asking the questions. They're always the ones grabbing the front row. They're always the ones that are first in line to say, hey, I want to get the information so I can become a better leader to the people that I'm leading. Yeah. Now, let's just review for a second, okay? The first person you should lead is you. The second person you get to lead in your life is you get to lead your family. The third is you get to lead in your community. The fourth is you get to lead others. And the fifth is you get to lead leaders. You get to lead shepherds, not just sheep. In your life, are you passionate about that? Are you right now growing spiritually? I'm not saying you need to be Billy Graham. I'm not saying you should be able to quote 69 scriptures. I'm just asking right now, are you feeding the biggest part of you, and that's your spirit man? Are you feeding it? Is your faith growing? Is it being challenged? Are you out chasing new dreams? Let me ask you a question. What are the 5 greatest changes you made in the last 30 days in your life? What are the 5 greatest changes that you need to make right now in order to bring passion back into your marriage, back into your body, back into your mind, back into your spirit? Right now, you have the responsibility to lead, to set the tone, to pour into lives. Well, if you're empty, right now might be the chance for you to go, you know what? I'm going to start reading more. I'm going to start listening more to more podcasts. I'm going to start associating with the right people so my spirit gets drawn. And the areas that I feel most comfortable going into because they challenge me. Sometimes they even embarrass me because they expose sometimes my weakness. But if we will not risk embarrassment, we will never know real growth. Be willing to be embarrassed. So you got a need inside of you to keep growing. I just want to encourage you. My name's PT. I love you. Are you growing in God's grace? Are you leading yourself in your spiritual life? Are you leading yourself in your reading life? Have you gotten cold? Have you lost your fire? Have you lost your passion? I want to encourage you, don't allow that to happen in your life. As you begin to move, one of the ways that you can grow in your life is that you can grow deeper and deeper in your relationship with your Maker. I can't with integrity teach this lesson if I don't talk to you about that, man. Do you know the greatest need in your house? Do you know the greatest need of your wife, of the person you're dating? The greatest need is for them to see an example of you growing in your faith and in your ability, watch this, to handle trials. How do you handle pressure? How do you handle setbacks? How do you handle, by the way, how do you handle conflict? How do you handle when things don't go your way? How do you handle when a deal that you've been working on falls apart? How do you deal with somebody that you trusted and loved all of a sudden stabs you in the back? How do you deal when everything's falling apart? How do you walk in that? Are you strong? Can you say as Paul did, when I'm weak, I am strong? Where is it coming from? Don't play small. The fifth thing I encourage you to, is to watch is watch out for loneliness. Loneliness, wow, it will empty you. And some of you right now, you're in big crowds, and you, honestly, can I just talk to you? You said, if I just get this person in my life, then all my loneliness is going to go away. And I just want to tell you, you can be with all the right people and still be lonely. And in your life right now, you just need to know that you need to have relationships in your life that build you, that they deposit in you, that they cause the greatness in you to come out, and they begin to multiply in your life, not subtract or divide. Not diminish, but they build up. Who are those people in your life? Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 says, 2 are better than one, because if one falls down, his friend can help him up. But pity the man who falls, who has no one to help him up. Some of you are on your way to Elevate, and Saturday night I'm going to talk, men, on the power of friendship in your life. You will become what the 5 closest friends in your life are. And so some of us, I'm going to get tough for a minute, okay? Some of us need to leave, and we need to associate and love everybody, but we do not need to spend massive amounts of time with certain amount of people. Who would be one person that I shouldn't spend a lot of time with? Somebody that doesn't see your gift, your talent, your uniqueness, your specialness, and your calling. Wow. So I just want to warn you right now. There's such a difference between loneliness and being alone. Oftentimes you will hear how Jesus went alone. All great leaders will spend time alone so they can renew and restore, but they do not get into isolation. Isolation does not produce anything great in your life. And yet most of us right now, we're separated. And we don't want to be planted, and we don't want to be a part of something greater than ourselves, because we're afraid that it might call me out. And so guys, there is something called the freedom of accountability. I encourage you to know what that means. So you need somebody to laugh with, you need somebody to cry with, you need somebody to dream with, you need somebody to grow with, you need somebody to celebrate with. And I just want to encourage you to do that. Number 5 is a passion killer, is a guilt-filled mind. Boy, there's so many things to feel guilty about. Most people, they think it's about sin. But sometimes I feel guilty because I don't perform at the level that I want to. Sometimes I feel like I let down those people that are closest to me. Sometimes in my life, I don't handle situations as I should, and I can feel guilty about it. Sometimes I become weak, and I don't stand up. I don't have any backbone. I honestly don't stand for my faith. I don't stand for my values. I'm a chameleon. Whatever crowd I'm with, that's what I become. Listen, friend, I love you. You will never become a world changer being somebody that shifts like somebody on sand. You got to build on the rock. So I want to encourage you, man, when you have unconfessed guilt, do you know what the antidote is to guilt? Is confession. I messed up. I was wrong. Please forgive me. I'm going to get better. God forgive me. Men, what is it that you need to do? I did a locker room in Troy, Ohio, Saturday, and I want you guys all to honestly, at some point, experience a locker room. It's different than this call. And I was talking on the power of encouragement, and I talked about encouragement really means, guys, we got to watch our words. We need to bless and build. And so I just challenged all the men in the room, and it was, what a great morning with these men, and it was all done out of our family room in Troy, and just a bunch of great leaders. But I challenged every one of them. I want you to speak blessing over people who have hurt you. And I watch grown men. These are manly men. These are not like sissy men. These are men. And how many of you know Marines don't cry, but their eyes do sweat? And I just watched as their eyes filled up, because every one of us, you got to be careful, because offense will destroy your life. Be careful that you don't get into gossiping. Make sure you don't become a garbage can with a hairy lid on it, where people come along and dump their garbage and you just accept it. If people are constantly coming to you and talking to you and sharing little secrets and gossiping about other people, just know that's who you are. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm telling you, they come to us for a reason. And I just want everybody to know around me, I'm not a garbage can for you to come and dump your anger and bitterness and resentment about somebody else. I'm going to believe in them. I'm going to pray for them. I'm going to build them up. So I just encourage you in your life to do this in a big way. Number 6, broken relationships. As you can see, guys, I could spend hours right here. How are your relationships right now, guys? How are they? How are they with the people that you're leading? Man, broken relationships. I have so many dads that come to me and they just go, I've just made a mess. I have people that you would know, you see them on TV, and they come to the ranch and they come through the gate and we shut the gate and they come down to the house and they take their armor off and they just go, I'm winning. I'm winning. They're coming in ministry, pastors, evangelists, business owners, business leaders. Here's what they tell me: I have everything and I've got nothing. Mm. My daddy used to tell me when I was a little boy, he said, Tim, I want to warn you, you got to be careful, because success will turn and it will mock you. Mm. Let me just tell you something right now. All the success in the world will never hug you. It will never encourage you. It will never build you. There's a good chance it will make you feel more and more insecure, more and more empty, because that isn't what fills you. Yeah. What brings passion is not that I have won. It's because I got a chance to be in the game. Yeah. I get to use my gift. I get to lean in. And so I just want to encourage you, while you're winning in the world, let's just get better at home. Let's get better with the people we love the most. Let's get better with the people that we lead. Let's just get better at it. Now, unresolved conflict is a huge passion killer. Some of you know what I'm talking about right now. You have an unresolved conflict going on. And here's what the Bible says. The Bible says, when it's possible, live at peace with all people. You're going to have some people in your life that maybe don't want peace. They really like to continually keep it all worked up and all tore up and all, they thrive in chaos. But those of us that are peace lovers, it's an amazing thing. Matter of fact, I would tell you, men, just like children, peace is probably the greatest need in your heart. Passion. And when you get peace, you're going to have power. No warrior should ever go to war without first not having peace in their heart. The 7th thing, and I'm done, is living for nothing. When you win, When you get your first million, when you get your first 100 million, when you get your first trillion, when you get your first trillion, what are you going to live for? What are you going to live for? Money is a byproduct of a service that you've rendered. And sales are recruiting. And the better you are at serving, watch this, the more money's going to be in your account. It's just that simple. It's why brain surgeons make more than other occupations. You get to set what your value is. If you think you're worth $12, you'll be worth $12. Do you realize a box of Godiva and a bag of Candy Kisses are the same weight in chocolate? One costs $1.99, the other one is $45. Men, are you a bag of $1.99 or are you a $45 gift?
Come on. Tell it to him.
Are you treating your wife like she's $1.99 or a $45? The people that you're leading, because see, you get to create the value. You get to create the exclusivity. So I just want to encourage you, if you're living for nothing, you're probably not going to have very much passion. Now, you may have never been told this. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not beating up on you. My name's PT. I love you. But I just want to read what Isaiah 49:4 says. I have labored to no purpose. What is he saying? I worked my guts out, and I've arrived, but I have no purpose. I have spent my strength in vain and for nothing. Wow. What is your purpose? What fills your life the most? Yeah, I know. I know we're all working because we got to pay our bills. We got to pay our bills, right? We all got to pay our bills. But I want to tell you, your life does not consist of the things you possess, but it consists of what possesses you to make a difference in this world. So I just want to read this in closing to you. It's about a man who had two daughters, and his one daughter almost drowned in the swimming pool, and he caught her. Let me read this to you. Paul was the first to arrive at the poolside. He went straight into the water. The little girl, Dylan, was next to arrive. By that time they arrived, Paul had lifted her up out of the water and extended her hands to her mother. Jenna was simultaneously choking, crying, and coughing. She vomited a bellyful of water as he held her, and she cried. Dylan began to weep, and then he began to sweat. For the rest of the day, I couldn't hold her enough, nor could we thank little Beth Ann enough. We had just taken her out for ice cream with her. I still can't thank God enough. It was only a matter of minutes, maybe seconds. We almost lost her. The thought was numbing and convicting. It was a little bit like, oh man, this is incredible. It was like the stool was kicked out from underneath me and the rope had jerked around my neck. And just long enough to remind me what really matters. It was a divine slap, a gracious knock on the head, and it was a real act of mercy. Because of it, I came face to face with one of the most underground, slyest agents, and it's called the agent of familiarity. His commission from the back throne room is clear, and it's total. Take nothing from your victim, cause him only to take everything for granted. Listen, he's been on my trail for years, and I never knew it, but now I know it, and I've come to recognize his tactics and detect his presence, and I'm doing my best to keep him out. His aim is deadly. His goal is nothing less to take what is most precious to us and make it appear most common. Wow. He won't steal your salvation. He'll just make you forget what it was like to be lost. You'll grow accustomed to prayer and therefore not pray. Worship will become commonplace and optional. And with the passing of time, he'll infiltrate your heart with boredom and cover the cross with dust so you will be steadily out of reach of its change. Score one for the agent of familiarity, nor will he steal your home from you. He'll do something far worse. He'll paint it with a familiar coat of drabness. He'll replace evening gowns with bathrobes, and nights on the town and evenings with a recliner, and romance with routine. He'll scatter the dust of yesterday all over the wedding pictures in the hallway until they become a memory of another couple at another time. He won't take your children. He'll just make you too busy to notice them. He'll whisper to procrastinate, and it's very seductive. There's always next summer to coach a team, next month to go to the lake, next week to teach Johnny how to pray. He'll make you forget that the faces around your table will soon be at tables of their own. Hence, books will go unread, games will go unplayed, hearts will go unnurtured, opportunities will go ignored, all because of the poison of the ordinary has deadened your senses to the magic of the moment. Before you know it, the little faces that brought tears to your eyes in the delivery room have become, perish the thought, common. A common kid sitting in the back seat of your van as you drive fast down the lanes of life, unless something changes, unless someone wakes you up, that common kid will become a common stranger. It might do us all a little bit of good to see if familiarity has snuck into our lives, our homes, our companies, our churches. And maybe what we think is so common is not that common. And I just want to say to you, I'm praying for you tonight that God will restore your passion. And he will restore your fire. At Easter, everybody invites. We invite to this men's call, and some of you are so passionate about, and some of us, we just need somebody to light the fire. And all you got to do is just start inviting. Have you ever thought about the power of an invite? If you have, I end on this. The greatest invitation into all the world. Jesus said, "Come unto me, all ye who are burdened and heavy laden, and I will give you rest." And he will take our dull, broken, empty hearts, and he'll fill it with his passion and his power and his presence and his purpose and his promise. Men, go change the world. I'm asking you humbly, will you invite 10 other men on this call with you? Let God use you. It's not your job to worry whether they get on or not. Their response is not your worry. Your call is to make the call. You're going to be surprised how many of them have been waiting for somebody to just leave their comfortable place with passion and let passion fill their hearts. Let's go to work on these 7 passion killers. And men, you're going to have your best next 30 days. I'll see you in another 30 days on this men's call. And those of you that are coming to Elevate, I can't wait to see you. And I just want to say thank you to all you men on this call for your generosity, for the way you love, for the way you care all over the world. We are making an impact together. I love you, man. Charge.